We'll get in the screen.
All right. So right before I turn the time over to Andrea and Wally, I'm excited to hear from their training tonight. I want you guys to make sure you saw the 2 posts that I did in Together Strong Pro today. There was a video by Eric Worre, and then there was a quick video that I did. And the point of this, guys, is for those that want to really run with this, it's time to get a little more serious. All right, and that just means putting in more hours, more dedicated time to get you guys paid faster, okay? So tonight, Andrea and Wally are going to teach some really good tips, and this is what's important to understand. Going slow is hard. Going slow is harder. It's like pulling off a freaking Band-Aid slowly. It doesn't feel good, all right? And I love so much Eric Worre's analogy. He talks about a pilot. I know Wally's going to be able to relate to this. As a pilot, you have to get off the ground. And that means the throttle is at 100%. You can't be a part-time pilot and go part-time throttle. Like, so you can't do 40% throttle because you're just a part-time pilot. Okay? Whether you're a full-time pilot or you're a part-time pilot, you have to go 100% throttle. And then you can ease off and kind of coast a little bit and train and take care of your people. But if you want to get paid for a short period of time during that runway, you've got to go all in 100%. All right? Because it's just easier. All right? And so that's what I want people to understand. Whether you want to do this thing full-time or whether you want to do Ice part-time, there just has to be a small time of life, whether that's now or 2 years from now, you have to decide. But if it's now, you have to focus for a short time and go 100%. 100% throttle, all the way in, okay? And everything is easier, I'm telling you, okay? So watch that video. I won't go into it anymore because I want to turn the time over to these guys. And yes, I said turn the time over. There's some things you just can't break away from. So, yeah, I said the other day, I was like, and so-and-so is going to give a talk. I'm like, nope, they're not going to give a talk. They're just going to speak.
We're just going to talk to you. There's not going to be any well, I don't know. I speak for myself that there will be no outward praying anyway. Yeah. I've already done that part. Yep.
So I'm just going to let them take over. And just, guys, when you watch those 2 videos, just understand that this is your journey. This is not Trisha's journey. It's not Andrea's journey or Joni's or Allison's. It's yours. It's your individual journey. And we're going to support you with whatever you choose to do. So don't listen to the chicken crap that's going to go between your left and your right ear. Okay? Just do what you want to do and be okay with that. Okay? Cool? All righty. So, moving on. So, guys, I wanted Andrea and Wally to talk to you guys tonight because they're just amazing people. They really are. They're just everyday people like you and I. Yeah. They have dreams. They have their struggles. They have the obstacles they have to face. But they're doing a really, really good job. And I've loved the energy that I've seen from them. And I feel like you guys can teach each other a lot more than sometimes what you call leaders can teach you. And so we need to start learning from each other more. Okay, so I asked them to share a few things, and so I'll go ahead and turn it over to them and bless us with your wisdom, guys.
Sweet.
Okay. So Andrea said men first on this one, so I guess
I did. Because I know all you came to see him.
What
I
else?
already saw all of the messages. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
Danny asked you were gonna have your shirt on.
Whatever.
Danny, his shirt's on, man. Sorry.
It's a cool shirt. Anyway.
He's kind of a big deal today.
Kind of a big deal. I guess I'm going to go first. And I will tell you what I do and what works for me. And I would like to kind of, double tap what Trish says as far as, flying. And there's a lot to be learned in life when it comes to flying an airplane. And we were actually talking about it because we flew out to we flew from here over to Oceanside to support some teammates on our downline in Ironman Oceanside, Ironman California, 70.3, and it was really fun. And Andrea was kind of talking about how, you know, flying and airplanes and everything relate to life. And I was kind of thinking, you know, we all are pilots of our own, of an airplane, and the airplane is Isogenics, this company called Isogenics, and it is the most awesome airplane a pilot can fly, and it's taken care of by them. They do all the maintenance, they do all the work on the airplane, they replace parts when they wear out, they upgrade parts, and all we got to do is get in the airplane and learn how to fly it. We all have the same airplane, just get in there and learn to fly it, and it's going to perform. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of thinking that, and it is a pretty freaking awesome airplane that we don't have to pay for. All we got to do, it's going to pay us to fly it, and it's pretty cool. So that was kind of going through my mind. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you know, what I do whenever I'm looking to try to set this up. And first of all, I was thinking, okay, what is it that I do? Well, I have a strong belief in the company and the products to begin with. And with that strong belief in, like, you know, we've gone to trainings, and the person that's training, the millionaire on the stage, asks, well, what is your belief? You know, like at University in Action, we had a paper, and everybody's like, 1 to 5, what is your belief? I think it was 1 to 5, right?
1 to 10.
1 to 10, whatever. So what is your belief in the products? And people are writing down a 5 or an 8 or a 10. And I was like, you know, I've been in the business, I've been doing Isogenics for 2 years, and I put it to the test in doing triathlons. And my belief is a 10 in the products, because I felt the products. And I'm sure you guys out there who have been on the products for a long time have a 10 belief in the products also. So that is a feather in your cap when it comes to sharing this awesome opportunity. The second thing is a belief in the company. The company is that awesome airplane, and it is, you know, they're the ones that are making these products for us, and they're the ones that are paying us. And I haven't had issue one, and if there is an issue, they fix it. They're not perfect, but they fix it. Daisy, good friend of mine, and she's on my team, she had some pay issues, and I think it was my fault because I probably put in her, whenever I signed her up, she's nodding her head. You know, I signed her up and screwed up her social security number, and I screwed it up. And so she wasn't getting paid for like 2 months, and she finally got a big old freaking download of money on her ISA wallet, and she was pretty stoked. So I was happy for her. But, you know, most of the time it's not their fault. It's probably our fault that things happen. So, you know, we got a belief in the products. We got a belief in the company. And with a 10 belief in the products and the company, here's what I say to that. Why, or should I rephrase this? If you have a 10 belief in both of those things, then why are you holding back? The other thing is, once you have a 10 belief in both of those things, I like to say you have got what they want. And you have to have the posture to believe in yourself now, because you're holding the diamond that everybody wants. You're holding that gold bullion brick that everybody wants. And so you've got to have that attitude in yourself. And that attitude comes off as not cocky, but knowing that they have what you want. And not only that, but there's people out there that are looking, and I've signed up quite a few people like this. They are looking for something, but they don't know where to find it. Does that make sense? I don't know if you guys were like that, But, you know, there's been people that do triathlons and they're looking for nutrition to help them be better, or they're looking for something just to be healthy, or they're looking for something to lose weight, but they don't know where to find it. And there's all these other products out there bombarding them, and they don't know what to look for, and they don't know anything about health. They just want to feel better, and they want to lose weight, or they want to be stronger and faster, or eventually lose weight and then do something like do a half marathon in their life. And so that's where your posture comes in. And I think that I've developed a posture that's really served me in signing people up. And I've been using the product for 2 years, but I didn't start building this business until last December. And the thought of getting a JOB, because I don't have a JOB right now, and the thought of getting one made my stomach turn. And I'm like, okay, all of a sudden I'm like, I got Isagenix. I'm going to build this thing because I don't want a job. Screw a job. And I just love the freedom. Yeah. So anyways, you've got what they want. You've got the golden egg, and you have to act like it.
Yeah.
And I do my best to act like it. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, a guy come up to me in the gym, and he saw I had an Iron Man tattoo, an M dot on the back of my calf. And he's 40, but he's in really good shape. His name's Nathan. And he says, hey man, do you do Ironmans? I said, yeah. He goes, dude, I've seen you in here a lot. And you are one of the people that I see that's serious about your workout. And you're not just here to be seen. You're here to do a job, and then you get out. And I'm like, I didn't know that's what I was doing, really. I was just in there working out, but that's what he thought of me. And so he came up to me and asked, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm glad you asked. And he asked me what I'm doing. I said, dude, have you ever heard of And I straight up tell people, have you heard of Isagenix? And some people have, and some people haven't. I said, well, let me tell you, you should do what I do. And that's exactly what I tell them. I say straight up, have you heard of Isagenix? Or you should do what I do. And then they're like, what is that? And then I tell them a little bit about Isagenix, and I don't want to overwhelm them. So I say, hey, here's put your phone number in my phone, or let's friend each other on Facebook. And then I'm going to send you some videos, and then I'll call you in a couple of days and see what you like best about the videos. Okay, no problem. And so I talk to them like they're already in, and they're already ready to go. And that's the posture you have to have when you're talking to somebody, like they're already a teammate. And that's what I do. Now, do you guys have any questions so far? Before I move on?
No, I'm just planning you on stage as our Super Saturday. I'm really excited about this.
And I apologize if I don't come across clear, because I don't think that I explain myself very well, or I'm a very good communicator.
I think you did a great job.
So
you're awesome, Wally.
I really don't think I am. So if I am, that's why.
That's his identity right now. Can we tell him?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. Right. No, you did a fantastic job.
Okay, and so I got just a couple more things.
Okay.
My attitude also is, what's the word? And this is the attitude I've had when I ask girls on dates. I say to myself, what's the worst they can say? No. They don't know me. And so it's like, okay, they're lost, no big deal, next. And so, that's my attitude. And I use that same attitude with signing people up or talking to people with Isagenix, right? And then follow-ups. One thing about follow-ups is every time I sign somebody up, I'm thinking to myself, I just created another responsibility for myself. And I don't take this responsibility lightly. Whenever I sign somebody up, I'm responsible for them. And it's up to me to help them be successful. And so it kind of weighs on my shoulders. It's actually a weight on my shoulders in a way, because, whenever you sign somebody up, it's like, okay, it's like a little kid. You know, you got to teach them from the beginning in this business and this opportunity how to take the products and hook them into the system and teach them yourself and get on three-way calls and be patient and everything. So it is a kind of a little bit of a weight on my shoulders whenever I sign somebody up, but a fun weight and a fun opportunity. But as far as follow-ups, I would say do not sign people up and just let them go on their own and leave them on their own, because you're responsible for them. And that's pretty much what I kind of thought I would tell you.
I love it.
If you have any questions,
put them in the chat.
Yep. Right. And I'm filling the chat box, guys, just so you know. So watch the chat. I'm going to save it at the very end for notes.
Okay.
That was awesome, Wally. So cool.
Yeah. I know. He's pretty rad. We had such a good time this week, and I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'll go fast. But you know what? That Wally and I are going to put together this pilot training, because he just barely scratched the surface of the conversation we had this weekend. And I'm just going to say, David Wood says, say yes and both. And we did that. And it's going to take a half an hour sometimes. So we'll just do a video and we'll tell you like the things that happen when you say yes and you say both and you just go to support your team. It's amazing. And Doris, yes, because it's a relationship. You follow up, check in on them, see how they're doing, see if their business is growing, see what they need. Just a really quick, we'll talk more about that sometime, but just a really quick message on Facebook Messenger, yes, forever, till they tell you not to. Anyway, so Trisha had asked me to just talk about how being a professional in corporate America had transitioned into becoming a professional network marketer. And I think that I don't have time to even tell you, but I'll just start with saying that when we train, when you're pulled into a corporation and they hire you, they put in a lot of money. Isagenix has that training already ready for you. When you move into a corporate job, you go for intensive training, but they don't just preach at you, they make you get on the phone. So I worked for University of Phoenix. So is it okay if we use them as an example right now? So at University of Phoenix, you go through this training and then they bring you into a bay of phones, okay? And it's the scariest pee your pants moment you will ever have in corporate America, because your trainer's there and you're there. Hey, Allison. And everyone can hear you, right? So they've given you the track to run on, and now you've got to do it in a room with everyone and with people that were called 100 times already by people who didn't have any skill, right? So you're hoping to just get them on the phone, but you call with a purpose. Now, the expectation was really for us to make calls, educate students, help them find their passion or their goal, and then create a path to get there. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, kind of. So then we would let them decide. We'd follow up with them. And then if they did decide to come to the university, we help them set up their account, find their financing, explain to them what their financing was really going to cost them, and go through all the government stuff, right? And this is all without ever seeing them face to face in most cases. And then when they started class, we'd support them intensely for their first 2 classes. So between 10 weeks and 12 weeks. So you'd have them for a few weeks to months before they decided to actually start their first class, and then all the way through until they were successful, competent students. Sometimes even helping them learn how to write a paper. Okay, like a lot of intensity. So the expectation at the university was just to keep it real, 2 to 6 students a month. And there are rock stars who do it faster, but really they just wanted us to be consistent and call students and follow up and help a few great students have a great quality experience with the university. Okay, So that was easy to transition over, right? I can love on people. I've been doing that for a long time. But turning into a professional network marketer meant that I had to have what Wally was talking about, posture, right? I wasn't a pro. I was a pro at the university. I did it for 14 years, 40 to 60 hours a week. That creates a pro, right? So what I left the university thinking I got this, I can do this. My boss asked me, what are you going to do differently now that you're going to do this full time? And I said, well, I'm going to make the same amount of calls I make for the university for my own business. That's a no-brainer, right? Like 35 a day. After I go to the gym and I look at social media and I clean the kitchen and have lunch with my friends, I would have fired myself 3 months ago, you guys. I suck at that. So I had a change in January where I said, okay, I'll do 20 calls a day, right? And I figured out what my strengths are, and I am working to that, but I decided to really get real with my team because I had been to a lot of events. So instead I helped pour into them, get them to events and find their strengths and then work with them every day. So part of my 20 calls a day is this Facebook Messenger app that's amazing. And I use it like the 1-minute manager. If you are a leader and you are in Isogenics, then do this. And I'll pull up the app and I'll pull up Messenger and I will record. Well, we'll record to whoever's there. How about that? And I'll hit a record button, right? Record. Can you see it? No, can you see it? See the record button? Heather, I am thinking about you today. You have been on my heart. What can I do to help move your business forward? Love you. Call me. 1-minute manager. Do you know how many of those I can do in a minute, you guys? I'm the first awake. I can do it on Messenger. I really am thinking about them. I would never do anything that was not transparent and congruent with what's in my heart. But that's how I connect with people when I'm awake and they aren't, because leaders are the first ones awake. They go first. They find people's strengths and they play to those strengths. They don't try to make everyone look like themselves. My best leaders at University of Phoenix never told me what to do. Never. They never told me to do what they did, ever. They just said, what can I do for you, Andrea? And treated me like a queen every day. Like I came home and had to build a bay of computer monitors because they treated me so beautifully. My last manager treated me just so beautifully that I had to duplicate that at home to feel like the princess that I am. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful. So, does anybody, I wasn't really watching the chat. Do you have questions about how it kind of lines up with corporate America, or did I just completely blow your mind? You can.
Feel free to unmute yourself, guys, if you want to share something or if you have a question.
Joni, it looks like a little tiny old-fashioned radio microphone. I don't know if you can see it.
If you hold it up long enough, it usually will adjust.
Or do you see it? Ooh. Someone's messaging me. Hold on.
I think it's a little close.
There it is, right there. Do you see it? Oh, I think it's trying
No, but there it is. There it is in the far second to the right. Yep.
Okay, so that's what it looks like.
Is this a part of the Messenger, or is it another app?
Nope, it's free. It's part of the Messenger.
Oh, okay.
You have that on your you have that on Messenger on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more fun than getting a written message because you can't hear their voice. Like, it's so much more fun to hear the voice.
Right.
Well, I fumble with my fingers anyway, so the texting, that's kind of difficult for me. And then I have to go back. I feel, like I have to go back and check my texting, the spelling, and that just is a whole nasty world for me. So I like this idea, the messenger.
Good. Well, we would never, University of Phoenix said, stay off your email. Okay, so this is the largest private university in the world. And they said, pick up the phone, put a mirror in front of your face, love on these people. No, that would be uncompliant. No, don't love your students. Call them and excite your students, right? You kind of excite them. Tell them what you're there to do for them. They're buying you and now, not the university. The university is the best there is. And I say isogenics is the best there is. So when you're calling people, they are buying you and now. They are joining your energy, your belief system, your posture. They're dating you now, right? They're picking you out of the crowd. There's, and the more people you call, the less panic you feel that there's only one in the world for you, right? Stacy and I have had this conversation. I have this conversation a lot with our single team members, write that list of 100, because when you've got unlimited people to call or date, whatever, you use it however you want, you don't really care what they say to you, right? You don't really care if they really want to spend time with you or not. You're lost. Next. Right?
Yeah, I'm getting to that point where sharing with people is getting a little easier. My biggest block was rejection, as it would be with most people. But I'm getting to the point where it's okay. They can reject me if that's what they choose.
Hey, Doris, and the more you do it, the easier it gets, and and my sister Heather, who's on right now, she calls it swagger. She goes, Wally, I want to find your swagger. And I was like, that's a pretty cool word. That's a good way to describe it. Mm-hmm. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more confidence you get, and the more you don't care about rejection.
I'm finding that's true.
Yeah, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
I'm still apprehensive about a lot of the sharing, but it's getting easier. It is.
Doris, to tell you the truth, I get apprehensive at times too. I'm like, what? I'll look at somebody and I know I want to talk to them, and I'm trying to find my way in to talk to them. That crack in the door, So you just got to figure that out and be creative. Mm-hmm. But like today, I was buying some oil for my airplane before I took off. And the guy that I was buying it from in the aviation office there at the airport in California, we were talking, and then we started talking about aviation, and he's getting ready to get his commercial license, and we were talking about that. And then, he saw me. I said, "Hey, can I get some water for my shake?" And I had my Isoline Pro right there, and he was looking at it, and I said, "Yeah, man. Do you have a card? I got something I want to talk to you about later." He's like, "Yeah, man, let's stay in touch." I was like, "All right." I left it at that, got his card. I'm going to call him back. And so, you can do that. You don't even need to bring it up until you contact him again.
Uh-huh. So. That's awesome. I've started carrying I'm a big believer in Post-its. When I have to learn something quick, I'll put it on that Post-it and stick it on my bathroom door. So when I'm in that little room, it's right there for me, and I see it, multiple times throughout the day. So I have started using a little Post-it, and I write, because I haven't ordered any business cards. I've got to do that, but I put isogenics.com, my name, and my phone number, and I've been putting 5 to 7 of them in my tablet cover, and I tell myself I am going to share with 7 people today. And whenever I start talking, I pull one of those out and I say, "Have you heard of this?" And it's not always that easy either. Like you said, you have to look for that crack to get it. But I've been doing it, and I'm surprised that there's so much. They're so receptive to it. Now they don't always contact me. They don't, but 1 or 2 will. And if that's all I get, I'm happy with that.
That's kind of what I do. And another thing is on my list, the only way somebody gets off my list is if they die.
Okay.
And they can tell me no. They can tell me no. And we learned this at NYKO. Some of the big millionaires have got contacted like 42 times before they said yes. And so don't take anybody off your list if they say no. Just leave them on your list and contact them in a month or 2 or 3 or whatever. But they never go off your list until they actually have left this world.
Right.
Okay.
Amen to that. And I'll tell you, Doris, that it's important to swap information because most people won't call you back. I don't care if you had $1 million in your bank account and you were going to give it to me. If you gave me a card, I would lose it.
Uh-huh.
Because I
believe that because that's what I do.
Yeah. Never walk away without their information.
Right.
That's my downfall right now. I always forget, and I'll think they're gone. Oh my gosh, I didn't even get their number, but I live in a small community. It's not real small, but most people know each other out here. I live on the Indian reservation north of Mesa, and I see them at community meetings when there's a big political type issue going on out here. I see them, and I'm starting to walk up to them and say, "Hey, how are you doing? Remember the last time we talked, and try to get back into it." And a couple of them are checking out Isagenix now, but it's me. It's my, what do you call it? My presentation or
identity.
Your swagger.
My swagger. Yes. Yeah. I still got to work on that. I got to work on it. It'll
come. It doesn't come overnight, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
But just get yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. That's my comfort zone is really comfortable.
Yeah. There's a millionaire. I was in another business and multi-level business a long time before, but there's one millionaire in that business, and it's always stuck with me. He says, in order to change some things, you got to change some things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth.
So if you're gonna get the same outcome if you put in the same input. Yeah. So you got to put in different input, different ways, and you get different outcome.
Absolutely. I've actually done. I've had growth in the business. This, even just speaking to you here, is not me. It's not difficult because I realize you can't reach me, physically. So I'm okay with that. But normally I would not do this. I am. I see a little growth in me, and I'm grateful for it. I'm thankful for the opportunity because it's making me look at my whole world differently.
If I could reach you, I'd be hugging you.
And I'd be hugging.
She blushed. Okay.
Don't worry. Those two make me blush too, Doris. I know Gloria has a question. Do you want to share that? Here, let me unmute you.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Gloria from San Antonio. So I have no trouble connecting. I talk to people all day long. My problem is the follow-up. So I've been messaging people back and sending them the videos, and then they, send me a message or they'll post something on Facebook, like Together Strong or whatever. And then they're like, how do I do this? So then I'll start messaging them, but then they just they just drop off. So one of my problems is I work late and I'm about to start another job. I have student loans to pay off. So I need to do something like really quick this summer. So I'm going to actually be working 7 days a week for a while until I can maybe switch jobs to this new one I'm starting. So my time is like really limited. So the follow-up for me is just I found it just very difficult.
So are these people that you're trying to help to start in?
Yes, just
to help them. Okay, so I would use your voice. And when I was working, Allison said she worked at the university. We got 2 15-minute breaks in our lunch, and I set appointments for those times. And I I know Trisha will probably know the names of people, but first of all, just use the time you have, right? I turned off TV at my house. There is absolutely no TV. Internet was it. Like, we don't watch any TV at our house because I heard someone say TV doesn't have BB, you know? Right. And so you take advantage of those times. I made phone calls in my car while I was driving. I set up my appointment times for those times that I couldn't do anything else. And even if you just consistently called 2 people, how many?
2.
Every day. And 2 were people that already started. 2 were people that you were following up with. 2 were people that were on your heart. 2 people every day. That's it. Like, just start there, because we'll talk about student loans if you ever want to message me. You know, we'll do that separately. But you can't get out of that 7-day a week without starting somewhere. So Lori would say 12 minutes, right? So find 12 minutes to work out, and 12 minutes to do personal development, and 12 minutes to call 2 new people, right? And then, yeah, put them in a Facebook message. You know, we've been using that a lot with our team in Utah. Hey, I've got someone. Can I put them in a Facebook message with you so that we can create a relationship? I don't know all the answers, and they would really jive with you. And I'll tell you what, that Utah team is crazy. They're growing so fast, but it's because we just use what works for people. What works for you? Facebook, right?
Right.
It's fast.
But I think too, maybe I've been doing more of the Facebook, like just the regular messaging and not phone calls. So would you recommend just doing the phone calls instead? Because the messaging, like, people aren't as receptive, it seems.
Call them. You're on my heart. I have not, I felt like we needed to actually connect. Facebook's great, but I want to know what's going on with you. If that's real and that's how you talk, I mean, that is how I talk. It's kind of happened with Isogenics. You're on my heart, but they really are. I've been thinking about you. It was 11 p.m. when I got off work, but I wanted to make sure you heard my voice,
Okay.
Yeah. I think that if a major private university puts money into phone training, you better get on the phone.
Yeah.
Get on the phone.
Okay.
That's important. Get face to face with them in a way that they can hear your voice.
I think a phone call is more intimate. Too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What are they buying?
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, they're buying you and now. Your vision, what you are to them now. Not Isogenics. I mean, Isogenics is a great vehicle, and they'll figure that out, but they're trusting you.
Okay, and that makes sense because they get so excited after I've spoken with them, and then, I've been trying to connect with them, but I haven't been doing the phone call. So they're like, oh, not now, or did you get a chance to watch the videos? Oh, I'll watch them. And then, so I guess I'm going to just have to change that.
Yeah, and don't send them the video until 15 minutes before you make that phone call. Chris Harder, right? Chris Harder.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't send them the video. You have to hold the reins, so to speak. Like, you have to be in charge of that. Wally told me, don't let the airplane fly you. Don't let the airplane fly you. You fly the airplane. Don't let your friend who isn't an expert at this fly the airplane. You are in charge. You're going to give that to them when they're ready to watch it, hopefully with you on the phone, coming up in just a few, right? And you're going to ask them, I'm going to send that to you 15 minutes. Are you going to watch it? Yes. And then when we talk, you're going to tell me what your favorite thing was. Wally uses that too. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm so excited. I really want to share this with you. We're going to talk. Yes. Yes. What's the word? Yes. Right? Tease them to death. But yeah, I think just don't, that always talking to them about Isogenics you probably need to dial that back and just call them and tell them why you love them.
Okay.
If you've just been sending Isogenics message after Isogenics message after Isogenics message to them, they think they're just a paycheck to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you got to rebuild the trust and love to them and call them on the phone. And I
try to do a little bit of both. And I guess one of the other, originally when I was in another page, I noticed what they were doing. They were actually posting the videos like as they welcome people. So I'll back off on that and start doing, because I watched the Chris Harder ones, so I'll start doing that. So maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Watch that Chris Harder again.
Okay.
What? Yes, I got. I'm a little bit tight, so I'm doing a little bit of my.
Everybody now.
I'm working out, people. Working out. I gotta loosen up those joints.
Yeah.
So just to kind of close, so many good things were said tonight. I'm going to post the recording because I want you guys to rewatch this, maybe when you're a little more awake. So everybody just kind of shake it out for a second. Come on, Allison. Pretend like I'm your baby, okay? So they were absolutely phenomenal. I knew we were right in asking them to teach, and we're going to have them do more and more and more because we need what they're sharing. And you guys need to train more as well. So get ready for that, okay? Prepare yourselves for that. Doris, the posture that I have today is so different than the posture I had 2 years ago, especially when it comes to network marketing and talking about the business. It was easy for me to share the products in the beginning, not so much the business, and that's changed. So just practice makes perfect. You know that, right? You just keep practicing and you're going to get more and more comfortable. But I want you to know, just like I told my swimmers in the old days, I mean, every single swim meet, after 10 years of swimming, I still got nervous.
Yeah.
It's because I cared. I don't care how good I am. I'm always going to be nervous because I care, right? Every person I meet, every conversation I start up, I'm nervous every single time. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of having I'm afraid of having a conversation. I'm afraid of talking to a stranger. I am. But what's more scary is being afraid of being afraid. Mm-hmm. That's where I won't go. It's okay if you're afraid, if you push through. It's not okay to let fear stop you. And that's the biggest difference. And so to kind of close the call, I just want to share that you said, you talked about being in your comfort zone. You're in your comfort zone, right? Everybody agree you've been in a comfort zone before? Mm-hmm. Is it really comfortable? And answer me, honestly. Is it really comfortable?
No.
I mean, be honest.
No, it's not.
No. I mean, and I'm not trying to like bring up the past here, but I grew up in an abusive home. Why did my mother not leave? She was comfortable in her surroundings, but did she like what she was doing? Was that happy for her? Was she actually comfortable with what was going on? Of course not. She was extremely uncomfortable, but it was a known zone. It's where she knew life. Like she knew what was happening there. She didn't know what was out in the rest of the world. Right? So many times, I want to switch that whole training up because we'll stay in a place that we know, even though it's not comfortable, just because we know it. It's familiar. Mm-hmm. And what I want you guys to start doing is getting into the unfamiliar. Because you have big dreams. You have big things to accomplish. And we're God's kids. Like we're not okay standing still. We're not okay not progressing. That's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Being in the same place every single day, that is uncomfortable to me. But the unfamiliar, super scary. But that's where all the good stuff is. Okay? So if you're okay going into the unfamiliar, you're going to succeed. Even though it's scary. Because you have at least, let's see, there's 10 of us on this call. You have at least 10 people just right here that are linking arms with you, and we won't let you fail.
Whoop, whoop.
11.
All right, so I absolutely love you guys. Doris, Wally does have an airplane, so he can't come find you. I know you're
big town, you know.
Now we going underground.
I can land on your front lawn.
Yeah. Don't let that keep you awake tonight. He's very tired.
I won't worry about it then.
But I love you guys so much. Let's make sure that a lot more people are on this call next week. We'll do the same time next week. And it is going to push out to probably 45 minutes. We just need to kind of plan on it. Because it takes a little bit of time, and that's okay. But we'll change the time of our welcome call. We'll look at a different time to do that, maybe on a Thursday or a Saturday. I'd love to have your opinion, so please message me what your thoughts are. We can't please everybody, but hopefully we can find a majority. But anyways, thank you guys. We believe in you so much. Let's make this happen. Let's just keep working, get uncomfortable, get unfamiliar, and just start working on your belief, okay? All right.
Okay.
Andrea, Wally, you're rock stars. Thank you.
We're kind of a big deal.
Wally, say yes. Thank you.
Like, it's kind of a big deal.
I love it.
Sir,